All right, Yasmin, I want to start with you. You had this really great piece that I want to draw viewers' attention to, which was set in Michigan recently. And you've covered the White House and President Biden pretty closely. And it seems like what you found in his reporting, in your reporting, I should say, is a potential political vulnerability in a pretty key swing state. What did you find when you were out there?
So I went to Dearborn, Michigan, which is known as the Arab American population of America. It's majority Arab American. It has the densest population of Arab Americans and Muslims anywhere in the U.S. And I talked to people about President Biden's handling of the Israel-Gaza war to see how much it was influencing their votes. I had heard that there was this sort of still early movement called Abandon Biden to try to get Muslims and Arabs to not vote for Biden in the general election. To be clear, they are not supporting former President Trump. A lot of people have made the point that President Trump has said he would expand his ban on several Muslim majority countries, but they're also extremely dissatisfied with President Biden's handling of the war, his unwavering support of Israel, what they describe as insufficient empathy in his rhetoric for Palestinians and what's happening in Gaza, and that he has not called for a ceasefire. And so I talked to more than 2 dozen voters while I was there, organizers of this campaign. If President Biden wants to win some of these voters back, he has an enormous amount of work to do because what I found was that they were resolved not to vote for him. They were fully aware of the risks that came with not voting for Biden and potentially allowing Trump to win. But say that, when their relatives are being slaughtered, their loved ones, the war is expanding to other countries that's more directly impacting a greater portion of the Arab American and Muslim community, that they just could not see themselves supporting Biden in November.
Yeah, it was a really great story. And then President Biden himself was then in Michigan right after that. What is his message when he goes to this state? What is he trying to underscore? What is he talking about? Is he talking about the conflict in the Middle East? Is he sidestepping it? How does he kind of come at this when he goes to what seems like it's going to be a pretty important state for him in November?
Yeah, I should have mentioned that President Biden has very few, if any, paths to victory if he doesn't win Michigan. This is key to his victory map, especially because, like you said, Sean, this is going to be such a tightly contested election with really no room for error. The Arab American and Muslim population in Michigan is about 300,000 people. About 200,000 of them are registered voters. And President Biden won Michigan by 154,000 votes in 2020. Just to give you a sense of how much tighter it could be this year, I think Trump won by just about 10,000 votes in 2016. So, I mean, this is a state where really both candidates have to seize on every possible vote that they can. In Dearborn alone, Biden secured 30,000 votes in 2020, just to give you a sense of the scale of the problem that we're talking about. So when he went to Michigan last week, he was going to do an event with the United Auto Workers, tout his union credentials. He pretty studiously avoided talking about the Israel Gaza war. And actually, the White House took some kind of unusually secretive steps. When it came to this trip, we had no idea where he was going. We just knew it was in the greater Detroit area, which could mean one of a million things. We had no idea what his exact location was. I mean, they went to pretty extraordinary lengths to try to avoid protests, but of course, people on the ground started to figure out where he would be, and there were still protests. But he has not interacted with this community in any way. A number of his top advisors are going to Michigan this week to meet with Arab American elected officials, which I think it just shows you that they are starting to take this problem much more seriously.